The body is an organism. Therefore, there are cells, organs, systems which constitute it. All of these parts make up the whole of the body organism, by becoming subject to each other and becoming systemized, and its organizer is the brain which governs that body. However, this brain is connected to the essence being. Therefore, smaller organisms that constitute the body organism also have their own beings, that is, organizers which are much simpler than of the man, and they, in their own right, serve the evolutions of relatively much simpler spirits. So, the being who governs this body is responsible for all these states of the human body. Beings, after they use, that is, benefit from, the bodies as much as possible, by relinquishing their usage over those bodies, they sever their connection with the brain which conducts them. And we call it death. A being builds a body with the help of superior beings, uses it as long as it benefits from it, and for this, it has control over all parts of that body, through the brain, and in this way, obtains its material needs via the channel of that body. In this respect, there is not much difference between a being, who is yet in a state of ability to use a human body, using this body, and a being, who is governing a huge solar system constituted with ensembles of matter and beings, conducting this system. There are differences between these only in evolution, width of scope and complexity. Therefore, whatever the meanings of a human being's influences over a body are, the influences of a being in duty over a solar system are the same, but more encompassing and complex. When a man is born, his being has a state that reached a certain level of development. Likewise, he will have certain deeds to do in the world, in accordance with this certain state of development. So, execution of these deeds is his duty belonging to his world life. That man's living in the world is to realize the world application plan, which is prepared before he descends to the world, by his being with other beings in duty. Therefore, that being, before he came into the world, designed and ventured the deeds he needs to do, and promised to do them. Now that he promised this, and his descent to the world is for executing his promise, then it is necessary for him to keep his promise and pay his due, that is, to execute the designed plan after he descends to the world. For, it is imperative to execute the deeds determined by the approval of the plan of duty. By this way, determined deeds are executed in harmony with the equilibrium of the conscience mechanism. A being who owns a body because of certain needs, begins to live in the world at a level of conscience equilibrium that is suitable to his developmental state, and takes place in various communal situations according to his plan. None of these descents and placements is arbitrary or random. The making of an individual plan is not a simple task either. As we previously said, a man has innumerable connections with the communal plans in which he lives. These are taken into consideration. For example, according to whichever nation, religion, community, with certain mores, family and individuals, with certain inclinations, merits, wants, powers and level of development, that being needs to come into, and to make communal plans with them according to whichever mutual needs, all of these are minutely calculated, regulated, mutually determined and planned beforehand, and naturally, with the help of beings in duty, in accordance with his developmental imperatives. This is the plan that needs to be executed in the world. The being gets prepared to descend into his surroundings in the world, which is regulated with this plan. During this regulation, the beings of the bodies who will be parents of that being are consulted, their decisions are taken. And according to these decisions, if some improvements and alterations need to be done in the bodies of the to-be parents, either individual or communal and even economical states, these are regulated as well. That is, their situation, according to the newcomer into their midst, is also straightened out by the beings in duty. Shortly, everything is arranged. In the descent of a being to the world, numerous beings are working in their service. Bodies in the world who are related to that being generally participate in these preparations automatically. Parents, relatives, midwife, doctor, hospital, nursery, orphanage, school, community, state, in short, near and far, a great number of bodies are unknowingly taking on duties, in various ways for the current and future life of the being who will descend to the world. And they most often do their duties automatically. So, mankind work for attaining the intuitions of the great plan of duty within the establishments and communities we have mentioned before, by making automatic efforts in order to fulfill these automatic duties. A being who owns a body built around a plan prepared with such minute calculations, and by the activities and labors of numerous beings in duty, will certainly be in debt to the individuals of the communal plan to which he is connected. And he has shouldered these debts even before he come into the world. In spite of this, if a day comes and he forgets the promise he gave on the face of the preparers and the helpers, and compromises, denies his debts, slackens his execution of his plan and, moreover, if he attempts suicide, he will be doing such a distant and contradictory act. Such a contradictory act against the intuition of duty is the lowest level of the earthly cravings in that life, and his responsibility is heavy, albeit automatic. Automatism of this heavy responsibility manifests very intense sufferings and tormenting reactions. Only the knowledge of comparison, which is very demanding, of this heavy automatism can push such a man further within semi-comprehending states. The body serves a being, and becomes a symbol of that being in the crude world matter. It is similar to the symbol of the spirit, which is the being, in the deeper sense. Therefore, this relationship of body-being-spirit, which is different from each other, but extends from the body to the spirit, evokes in mankind in the world an assumption that there is spirit in the body. To trace the individual evolution of a being who came into the world as a man. Let us start from a much earlier time, and take a stage where no evolution and development exist in universe. Here, to be able to give the intuition about the factors the development progresses by, we will use a symbolic scheme of a projector. We would like to repeat that the scheme we will use here is only to give some an impression about these truths. Previously, we talked about the sublime principle, of which we cannot say anything about its true nature, which governs spirits as well as universes. From among the forces of this principle orientated to infinite universes and spirits, we will give the intuition of the one orientated to our universe, by merely this symbol of a projector. However, this projector will not be the original principle governing universes and spirits. It is only a force of it, pertaining to our universe, that is, to the relation of matter-universe and spirits. This can only be expressed that much. The original principle state, or aspect pertaining to our universe, which we symbolize with the word force, certainly does not fit into the ordinary meaning of such a word. For, not only this word, but no other motion, word, meaning or image exists in our universe, to sufficiently express this state. Since we are helpless, we express the aspect of the original principle, orientated to our universe and the spirits that will render their applications there. Even these expressions are symbols incapable of expressing the originals, with the word force. Therefore, according to this expression, which we will, again, symbolically explain with this symbol, the force is the whole of the necessities of the original principle which are intended for the cohesion of all the matter possibilities, with the evolutionary needs of the spirits, pertaining to our universe. Let us elaborate on this. In this force of the original principle are inherent, the states related solely to our universe, which we symbolize with the concept of evolution, from the needs of the spirits pertaining to infinite universes, as well as all of the matter possibilities of our universe, which are the counterparts of these needs. So, realization of the purpose of this force, which contains the needs of the spirits and all possibilities of universe matter, of the original principle, which is to make a unity, by unifying the spiritual needs and matter possibilities, gives the ultimate and most sublime implication of the meaning we express with the word evolution. This intuition is about the need of spirits pertaining to our matter universe of the infinite universes. Here, there is no word uttered about the other universes.